All right, so get ready, because we're about to do a deep dive into a role that honestly doesn't get enough credit. We're talking about file clerks.
I know, right?
You might be out there thinking file clerks, but seriously, stick with us. We're going to uncover some seriously interesting stuff.
Really interesting stuff, I'd say.
We're looking at RoleCatcher's career guide, and get this, they've got this whole AI-powered platform that's basically like having a career coach in your back pocket, helping you with your job search.
Oh, for sure. The job search world has changed a lot, even in just the past few years.
No kidding. But first, those file clerks. Like, I don't know about you, but when I hear file clerk, I picture like dusty filing cabinets.
Ugh, paper cuts.
Yeah, paper cuts, like not exactly glamorous.
Not glamorous at all.
But here's the thing, information, right? How it's managed. That's like the backbone of any organization. You can't have a well-run organization without it.
It's so true. And you can apply that to any industry.
That's what I'm saying.
Hospitals, tech, even just like a bakery. They all need good information.
Yeah.
And it has to be organized so they can get to it when they need it. And that's where our file clerks come in. I mean, they're the unsung heroes that keep companies running.
I love that. Unsung heroes, that's a great way to put it. And RoleCatcher actually backs that up. Their guide says that 69%, a whole 69% of a file clerk's job relies on administrative skills.
Which, yeah, I can see where people would be like, what does that even mean?
Right. Like, that sounds kind of vague and a little boring, to be honest.
It does have that connotation.
But I have a feeling there's more to it than meets the eye.
Oh, absolutely. Way more. So think about it this way. Administrative skills, in this case, means like you are a master of systems, of processes.
Oh, okay.
You know exactly where everything is and how to get to it, and you're like the architect of organization, making sure that information can be found by the people who need it when they need it.
So it's not just like alphabetizing. We're talking next level organization here.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm into it. And speaking of levels, get this. RoleCatcher found that 55% of a file clerk's job now involves computers and electronics.
What?
I know, computers, filing. I thought we were talking like manila folders, label makers.
I know, the good old days.
Right.
Yeah, no, things have definitely gone digital.
Like, how does that even work?
So now you're talking about scanning,
Okay.
indexing, managing all this electronic record.
Makes sense.
And these days, some of those databases, they're complicated.
So you got to be kind of tech savvy to be a file clerk these days.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Which, honestly, it makes the job more challenging. Technology changes so fast.
I can't keep up. Every day there's a new iPhone.
Exactly. And you've got to keep learning to stay on top of things.
That's true.
But it's also what keeps the job interesting. You're not just pushing paper, you're navigating the digital world.
Yeah. Okay, that is pretty cool.
Right.
So we've got this organizational part down, we've got the tech savvy part down, but here's something I did not expect at all. RoleCatcher also highlights customer and personal service
Okay, yeah.
as a key aspect. 54%. That's huge. And it seems kind of counterintuitive, right? For a role that we're picturing as like behind the scenes.
Yeah,
What's that about?
I think a lot of people don't realize how much, interacting with other people is part of the job.
Okay, yeah, tell me more about that.
Picture this. Someone's totally freaking out because they can't find this super important contract.
Happens all the time.
Right. And it's from like 2021.
Ugh.
Who are they going to call? Not Ghostbusters. They're calling you. You're the one who knows where everything is.
I love it.
You're like the human search engine.
The human Google.
Exactly. For the entire company.
Wait, so not only do file clerks need to be like hyper organized and good with tech, they also have to have really amazing people skills.
That's exactly it.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah, no, it's like a hidden skill set that you might not even think about.
Yeah.
You're interacting with people from every corner of the company, different departments, different personalities. Sometimes you even have to deal with clients or vendors.
Oh, wow.
So you need tact,
Yeah.
clear communication, and maybe, just maybe, a bit of that detective work, right?
Yeah.
You have to really listen to what people are saying and figure out what they need and where to find it.
Okay, a file clerk detective. That's a new one. But no, this is really cool stuff. Okay, but what about moving up in the world? Like, is this a dead-end job, or are there ways to actually grow in this role?
I love that you asked that, and that is something that RoleCatcher actually gets into. They have a whole, progression path in their guide.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you start as, a file clerk,
Of course.
but then you can become a senior file clerk,
Yeah.
lead file clerk, and then eventually even a file clerk supervisor.
So there's a whole like career ladder here. I love that.
There is.
Okay, but what changes as move up? Like what do you just get like a bigger stapler?
Maybe. You get a better stapler, maybe a bigger desk. But seriously, the responsibilities definitely get more, I don't know, involved as you move up.
I can imagine.
So you'll probably have to supervise some people.
Makes sense.
But it's not just about managing people. For example, at that senior file clerk level, RoleCatcher talks about developing improved filing systems.
Ooh, okay, so like actually making the systems better.
Yeah, and this is where things get interesting, especially for folks who love to make things more organized. Because we're talking about designing better systems,
Yeah.
like you get to go in and recondo the company archives.
I would love that. That sounds kind of fun, actually.
Right, and then once you make that jump to the lead file clerk level, now you're collaborating with other departments, like IT,
Interesting, because you've got to have the tech side of things.
exactly, to enhance systems, which, that could be some seriously cool projects.
Yeah, you're not just filing at that point.
No.
Yeah.
At that point, you're basically like an information architect.
I love that. Okay, but let's be honest. Not every file clerk wants to, like, be a manager,
No.
right?
So-
Some people are really happy where they are.
Sure.
So in that case, what are those, like, transferable skills that we always hear about? What are we talking about here?
Well, let's break it down.
Yeah.
So as a file clerk, you're getting this incredible foundation and like organization, obviously,
Yeah, right.
attention to detail,
Yes.
and information management. And those skills, those are like gold. Like seriously,
Yeah.
in every industry out there, healthcare, finance, education, you name it.
Absolutely. Every industry needs that. And especially in, like, today's world where everything is digital.
Exactly.
Being comfortable with all that, the document software, the digital archiving, that's like, you're a hot commodity if you have those skills, honestly.
Absolutely. I would say those skills, they're only going to become more in demand. Who
Yes.
knows what the future holds? Maybe we won't even see like an actual filing cabinet ever again.
Oh, man.
I know.
A world without filing cabinets.
But the skills are the same. It's all about knowing how to organize that information and manage it digitally. That's going to be key no matter what.
It's so true. Okay, so we've established that file clerks are secretly, like, running the world.
They are. They keep it spinning.
At least the organized part of it. But before we move on, I do want to loop back to RoleCatcher for a second because it's not just career advice, right?
Yeah.
They have all this other really cool stuff, too. So tell us a little bit about this whole AI-powered platform.
Okay, so they've got a bunch of different tools that can really help you like level up your whole job search.
Okay.
And this is for anyone. We're talking resume builders. They've even got platforms where you can practice your interview skills.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they're using AI for all of this. So it's analyzing your performance, giving you personalized feedback. It's actually kind of incredible.
It really is like having a career coach, like, in your pocket.
Totally.
Right.
I mean, that's the future of job searching, right?
Yeah.
Why not take advantage of technology to make the whole process way better and more efficient?
That's what I'm saying. And honestly, just knowing how to use those tools is a skill in and of itself.
100%.
So even if you are listening and you have zero interest in ever becoming a file clerk, I feel like just hearing about RoleCatcher and like all of the AI stuff is super valuable. It's like a little glimpse into the future of work.
Yeah, for sure. The future is now.
It is.
We're living in it.
So true. It really is. It's like we're getting a backstage pass into how all this technology is changing, how people find jobs these days. But this whole conversation, it's got me thinking.
Oh, yeah.
We've been talking about how being a file clerk, it's not what it used to be.
Definitely not.
It's way more tech-driven
For sure.
and just more, like, dynamic than most people would think.
Yeah.
So my question is, what other jobs, like jobs that we might think of as pretty, I don't know, simple or even entry level, what other jobs are like changing in ways we wouldn't expect?
Ooh, that's such a good question. And
Yeah.
honestly, you're so right. There are so many jobs that people just like have this one idea about. But when you really look at what's happening, it's like a whole different story.
Yeah. Give me an example. Like, what are we talking about here?
Okay, well, think about manufacturing
Okay.
with all the automation and robots and everything.
It's crazy. Robots everywhere.
It's wild. But what that means is that the jobs in those factories, they're totally different now.
Different how?
You need to know about programming,
Oh, wow.
data analysis.
Interesting.
You're troubleshooting these really complex systems. It's not just like working on an assembly line anymore.
No kidding. So it's like those jobs that we think of as being like factory floor jobs. Now you need like a tech background.
It's true. You have to be comfortable with technology.
Yeah.
It's changing everything.
That's wild. What else? What other jobs are like that?
Okay, another good one is customer service. Think about it. Now you've got AI chatbots everywhere, right?
The bane of my existence. I swear those things are taking over.
Yeah. But what's interesting is that it means that the human customer service people, they're dealing with totally different stuff now.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's the more complex stuff, the stuff that chatbots can't handle. They're like brand ambassadors, you know.
Totally. You want to talk to an actual person when there's a real problem?
Exactly. So they're problem-solving gurus. And you got to have some serious empathy to do that kind of work. It's not just about, like, reading from a script anymore.
That's such a good point. It's like the technology, it isn't just like getting rid of jobs.
Right.
It's actually like changing them in ways that we would never expect.
100%.
And maybe, just maybe, showing us that like there was always more potential there all along. You know, we just needed the technology to kind of like unlock it.
That's a really cool way to look at it. It's not just like robots taking over.
Right.
It's about finding new ways that humans and technology can work together in ways we maybe haven't even thought of yet.
So well said. This whole deep dive, it's been amazing. I mean, from file clerks needing to be tech wizards to AI, like coaching people through their job searches, it's nuts. And I think it all just goes to show you, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Never judge a book by its cover.
Or a job by its title, I guess is the way to put it.
That's a good one.
There's always more to it than you think.
Always. Be curious, right? Like dig a little deeper. You never know what you might find.
Absolutely. So listeners, next time you hear about a job and you're like, that sounds kind of boring, I'm telling you, take a second look.
Do it.
You might be surprised. And hey, if you're ready to get serious about your own career journey, you already know where to go. RoleCatcher has your back. They've got the tools, the insights, everything you need.
Go get them.
All right, until next time, everybody.